Hi, my name's Phil. I like to talk about politics, and Theresa May is today meeting with Chancellor Merkel and President Macron ahead of the EU Council meeting tomorrow. Now, we know that the Prime Minister is seeking an extension of up to June the 30th. We know that it will be refused. So why is she meeting with the other leaders of the most powerful nations in the EU? I mean, I say meeting. I quite liked a headline in Der Spiegel, which referred to it as a begging tour. And I have to say, it's not seen any differently in the UK either. There was also a hilarious video on the ITV News which showed the Prime Minister's car pulling up by the red carpet in Berlin with nobody there to greet her. Surely a pointed sign by Chancellor Merkel that she is well and truly pissed off with her, no matter how much she smiles for the camera. Well, it has been noted that she's unlikely to want to rely upon her skills of negotiation tomorrow, with so much at stake. When it comes to these sorts of things, Theresa May is piss poor. She's no personal charisma. She's hopeless at presenting herself. The reason why the last general election went so very badly for her, despite all the polling suggesting otherwise, is that because she hid away from people during the election campaign. She's a complete wallflower, which doesn't help you when you need to project to an entire nation. So she's meeting with Merkel and Macron to test out ideas. This will be to find out what is going to happen before it happens. Macron and Merkel will be wanting to know what she intends to do with an extension. They have no confidence that she has a plan for final resolution. They also know that the June the 30th extension is pointless. They might as well agree to an extension for next Monday for all the good it would do. But it's believed that she has to stick to the 30th of June request to keep a lid on things back home. It suits Theresa May better for the EU to offer a longer extension and say, there, take it or leave it. Because then I didn't want it, but all right, I'll take it. The EU are forcing me to take it. It's not my idea. That's basically her plan. Now, yes, we know that Donald Tusk has been talking about a long, flexible extension. So is this what's likely? Reporters certainly seem to think so. I know that President Macron is keen to take a hard line on these matters, and you'd sort of get the impression he's ready to say no to something like that. But he is in a difficult position. Like, we talk a lot about the disruption at Dover, at the Dover border in events following a no deal. But what about disruption at Calais? Same sort of thing. And does Macron really want to be, even though many people may support him now, do they really want to find themselves on the other side of that? With all that disruption at Calais, what are the people of France going to think if he was the lone member state leader that stood up and said no to an extension? You know, he's already facing enough problems at home. He doesn't need more summer troubles, let's face it. Now, as a Remainer, you know, if we come away with the long extension, with the only requirement being to take part in the EU elections, which should be a given, which is also happening, by the way, you know, that's already been laid out in front of the Commons, then surely I should be delighted. But to be honest, I won't be. I'll be disappointed. I have the feeling that to show some measure of strength, Macron might well insist on, yeah, okay, we'll go with a long extension, but that is the last one. There will be, under no circumstances, any further extensions. Now, that would be exceedingly dangerous. After all, what would happen after coming away with such a long extension? What would Theresa May do? What would Parliament do? The House of Commons would yet again, of course, vote to amend the European Union Withdrawal Act, references to end dates, that sort of thing. And then what? A whole lot of nothing, I fear. Theresa May will keep plugging away at her withdrawal agreement. Brexiteers will keep telling her to renegotiate the backstop. Jeremy Corbyn will keep going on about his customs union. The can will not so much be kicked further down the road as hoofed straight into the next village. Parliament don't want May's deal, and if they didn't vote for it with the pressure of a deadline, they're certainly not going to vote for it when that pressure is removed. A people's vote would take about half a year from beginning to end, with a buffer of a few months needed to sort out legislation if we still decided to leave. But if that isn't a condition of the extension, and the EU certainly can't impose it, or they'd be drawn into the blame over the Brexit mess, then where is the political will to start if we don't have loads of time left? We'll find ourselves without that urgency with Parliament going back to squabbling over their ideal outcomes again, and then another few weeks before the end of this extended period, you know, a final deadline will be looming again, without any time to go down that road. You know, frankly, let's say we get a 9-month extension, then that would be only just enough time to sort out a public vote, you know, if we started immediately. But we won't, and so we'll still run out of time. My concern is that we'll just have a 9 months or maybe a year of the same uncertainty that's already killing our economy and not doing the EU's any good either, without any evidence that it will determine an outcome. In addition, we're not getting domestic policies actioned in the UK, and even EU leaders are being distracted by Brexit business when, you know, they should be paying attention to other business. And I know there'll be some people watching this who will say, well, yeah, that's all reason enough to just refuse the extension. That's what will happen. You know, and the reasoning is fine. The UK government refuses to let their people decide, okay? And they won't vote for the withdrawal agreement. So that really just leaves them between no deal Brexit and no Brexit. And they don't need an extension for that. Just deny the extension and let them choose between leaving without a deal or revoking Article 50, which they don't need our permission to do. And I would agree with that, you know, but it's just not the impression that reporters seem to be getting from within the EU centres of power. You know, I think we're going to end up with this extension that Donald Tusk has been talking about. And I don't think anyone is going to be entirely happy about what comes next. You know, I almost find myself hoping that the Council does veto the extension and that Parliament has to wake up on Thursday faced with a finality to this. Not because I desperately want this to be over. You know, I know some people do because they're just sick of it. Better a protracted pain for a better outcome than having a terrible outcome due to impatience. No, but because I don't see how there will be any further towards a resolution if we have an extension with essentially no strings attached. And, you know, taking part in EU elections is not really strings attached. You know, that's what you would expect to happen when the elections come up and we're still within that organisation. So, no, I think it's going to be very disappointing, I have to say. We'll have to find out tomorrow exactly what will happen. We'll also wait to see if anything comes. I don't think we'll really find out what happened in the meeting today with Macron and Merkel. I really don't know why Theresa May even went there. You know, they're on the telephone, I hear. So we'll have to find out. But yeah, I do worry about a long extension with no strings attached. Let me know what you think down below, of course. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe for further content. Until next time, I'll see you later.